and then they start up all over again in Chicago to play the White Sox on the South Side. 8:10 is the start.
I like the White Sox.
Because it's Central Time. Pardon me.
You heard me.
Did you call them the White Sox?
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think detractors called them when they were still the White Stockings? Couldn't go with the Sox. I bet there was some old-timey insult that they threw at them back then. You guys are the White Storks, because you know how that bird sucks. I don't know.
Maybe the White Stocks because you're crashing and burning.
There you go. Anyway, the Guardians and the White Sox, Friday night, 8:10 here on MMS, and on the iHeartRadio app. You can use the promo code FIREWORK if you want to get yourself some appropriate gear at CLE Clothing Company to get you 20% off whatever you get. I was watching a thing. God, I love Jeff Bridges. I keep telling myself I'm just going to go through the Jeff Bridges filmography because he's just so good in everything. Even a movie that sucks, it's fun to watch him in it because he's just good. There's a movie called R.I.P.D. that comes to mind.
Oh, with him and Ryan Reynolds, right?
Him and Ryan Reynolds. Yeah. It was a comic book movie that they had really high hopes for, and it was just god-awful. But I just love Jeff Bridges.
Nobody has been luckier to have a second act in their career like Ryan Reynolds, because he was just manufacturing turd after turd, and then Deadpool hits, and it finally got him to a spot where he can actually star in movies again.
Yeah, he was languishing in like weird rom-com territory.
He was there, but then he also he did R.I.P.D., Green Lantern, both of those bombed, and then he was, he'd be in, he's in the Blade trilogy, but he was in
Blade Trinity with Jessica Biel. I love that movie.
It's a great movie.
I know everybody hates it. I think that's a great movie. It's a lot of fun.
But he wasn't the star of that one. That was him in an established one, but anything that they were trying to establish with him just was taking a dump, and then finally Deadpool hits, and they're like, okay, we'll just keep putting him in movies now.
Yeah, he was trying different things. He was in a remake of the Amityville Horror, which was not good.
That was the one where he's buried. Is it just called Buried?
It's called Buried.
There it is.
Yeah. He was, I think The Proposal was a successful movie.
Yeah.
That was him and Sandra Bullock, but that was probably more due to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, Green Lantern led to...
Well, he had that, and he did
the change-up with Bateman that was okay.
He did Just Friends, and he did... And that was, in The Proposal, I feel like were his first successful movies.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tried to make him an action star, and it took a while before it actually happened.
Because he also makes those Hitman's Girlfriend movies with Sam Jackson.
Yeah, there's two of those,
Yeah,
right?
I think those were surprise hits. And so they were like, well, let's make another one. But yeah, he kind of had a fallow period there for a while. I mean, don't forget Smokin' Aces. I mean, that was back in the day, but I think Smokin' Aces is an underrated movie.
And that's an ensemble
It's a huge ensemble
piece.
thing, too. But anywho, Jeff Bridges.
He's great.
Is dynamite. He's currently in this show called The Old Man, the first television that he's done in a long, long time. It's on Hulu, and it's great. But I watched a thing where he was kind of talking about the high points in his career. They were interviewing him and going through a timeline of his career. And he's, going way back to when he started and some movies that you might have forgotten about along the way. Everybody obviously remembers Big Lebowski. But I forget that he was basically the first Marvel Cinematic Universe villain, because he was Obadiah Stane in Iron Man.
Yeah.
So Jeff shaved his head.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Bridges, or they probably gave him a bald cap because he's always got the long hair. But
I think it was.
You think he shaved his head?
Yeah.
But I always forget that he was the bad guy in the first Iron Man movie. So good.
He's great in it.
Love Jeff Bridges. And then he got sick, but he's doing better now, and that's going to be a guy that, when he goes at some point,
that's going to be a bum.
That's going to be a big deal.
He got way back, Starman.
Yeah.
Going back to the 80s stuff.
He's got this thing now where he always looks like he doesn't have teeth in. He has this cadence now where he looks like he's got I don't know. He's got this gummy kind of delivery now that, but I love Hell or High Water is a recent Crazy Heart.
Oh, Crazy
is one of my favorite movies.
Crazy Heart was fantastic.
Fisher King, awesome.
You know what one I want to go back and watch that I don't think I ever saw it. I think it was just too mature of a movie for me.
Tron?
Well, I mean, Tron's great, but The Mirror Has Two Faces.
Never saw it.
Never saw it either.
Is that with Barbara Streisand?
Yeah.
Never saw it.
Blown Away, man.
Oh, with Tommy Lee Jones.
Blown Away was one of my favorite movies.
That's dynamite.
That was, yeah.
He was in a cool movie. Yeah. He was in a
a
movie called The Contender about 20 years ago that was real good. He's the president. And the woman that he picks to be his vice president gets caught in some scandal where they found, like, this is how quaint it was back then. They found naked pictures of her. She was at an orgy or something, and, you know. But it's a real good movie. It's like a political drama, but he's great in it, and, you know.
You were talking about...
He was in King Kong back then. I remember when I was a kid, and King Kong was on TV all the time.
That was like
after it was in the movies, and he was in that.
70s one, right?
1976. It was him and Jessica Lange was the female lead, yeah. What, Poundcake?
You were talking about Ryan Reynolds, and like it took an action movie to get him to kickstart his, or I guess restart his career. What do you think it will take for Henry Cavill? Because you keep saying they keep trying to make him a thing, and he's done Superman. He's done I forget what else.
Well, he's coming back to Superman, from what I understand, and
I
he's had a good career.
I think he's a good actor, but he's just not the guy.
Well, he's in The Witcher, and that's real popular.
Yeah, and also there's just not the guy anymore. But he did Mission Impossible that was really well received.
He did Mission Impossible.
He was
like a bad guy kind
in it.
of.
Yeah.
Oh.
And people loved him in that because he was that fight scene where he like reloads his arms like they're like it was,
he cocks his arms.
I was gonna say, well,
what's the other one? Not Thomas Crown. Was the
Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Man from U.N.C.L.E.,
which is an old TV show nobody remembers, but they were like, well, we own the intellectual property. We might as well make a movie out of it.
I was like, well, have Alan tell it. Like you were speaking to him like he was a nobody.
Who, Henry Cavill? Mm-hmm. I don't think we mentioned Henry Cavill, did we? What do you mean?
No, not right now, but like whenever he comes up, you're like, they keep trying to make him a thing. And I'm like, well, he was in I know him from The Tudors. Like he was like the right-hand man in that. And I apparently nowadays he's Superman. And I don't know. You always
he was the main tutor?
He was like the King George's or King Henry III's right-hand man or whatever.
Let me give you some money here. It is $1,000. It's 4:30. Let's do it. A chance to go fuel yourself. Good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fuel yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword BONUS at WMMS.com. That's BONUS. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
I remember I don't know how many people saw it, but I remember Henry Cavill was in that Woody Allen movie that had Larry David in it.
Oh,
you remember that one?
I've tried to watch that one. It was not.
It was on, I was clicking through, and somebody was showing that the other night, and I was like, oh, Henry Cavill's in that.
What was that one called?
It wasn't Sour Grapes. That was the other...
that was the guy from Wings.
Yeah, the guy from Wings. Yeah. But Jeff Bridges, man, that guy's a goddamn national treasure. I can't believe this guy doesn't have shelves full of Academy Awards. He's gotten nominated a bunch of times.
He's got one, right? He got one for Crazy Heart.
I don't think he got one for Crazy Heart. Did he?
Did.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I thought that was his big win.
Yeah. And he also won for Starman. But he's got, he's got a lot.
He won for Starman, too?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think.
They gave awards differently back then.
Well, yeah.
Well, because it just seems like they go for these movies that are so artsy-fartsy, but Starman's just kind of a... I mean, it
was John Carpenter. And
yeah,
it was
it's a sci-fi movie, but it's not as... Like, it's still like a blockbuster type film.
Yeah. My mom had this Jeff Bridges movie called Jagged Edge. She had it on VHS. This is a solid mid-'80s Jeff Bridges movie. He's like this rich playboy who's accused of killing his wife. And he starts to have an affair with his lawyer, who's Glenn Close. And my mom loved that movie, and I watched it once, and I thought it was pretty cool. And we beat the piss out of that copy, a Jagged Edge on VHS. If I saw that movie today, I could recite it chapter and verse.
I can do that with Unfaithful.
Yeah, you can. Well, one particular scene that didn't have any dialogue, he can recount it to you pretty faithfully, as it were. Alan Cox Show After Hours line, anytime you want to leave us a voicemail, That's the place to do it. 216-986-8903.
Yo, this is Joey Gaskets down in Summit County. Whole life I've been in the auto industry. Poundcake, don't buy a new car. That Mercury Mulan 06 4-cylinder 2.3, those things go 300,000 miles all the time. Check and change your oil. You'll be good. Shut up, Mary. Don't get Poundcake burdened by a car payment.
Oh, boy.
Poundcake, keep your Mercury.
Keep your Mercury. It's good advice, Cody.
I'm not down. I'm not.
You should drive that thing until the wheels fall off,
It
which
has-
might be sooner for you than some other people, but, you know.
It has pretty good mileage on it. It only has like 150,000 miles.
Yeah, I say keep it too.
I don't.
It's still the Mercury Mulan? Is
Does
that
it
the
have
one
any like serious problems?
No.
Then keep
No,
it.
it all the problems with it are like vanity stuff. Like
Like you forgot what gear it's in?
no, not that. It's all vanity.
Uh-huh. Yeah, but couldn't you add to your car? Couldn't you
I think
pimp
you
it
should
out
get
to
it
some degree?
Like a custom paint job. Like
Custom
a
paint
pimp
job.
Get
my
rid of the
ride.
Mercury.
Yeah, get a pimp my ride paint job on that thing.
Yeah.
I suppose I could, but like it's just I feel like it's more adult. Yeah, like I'm 30 and I essentially I have nothing to show for it. I don't own anything except my car.
Why don't you put underglow lights on it?
That don't count.
Get like a what?
Exactly. Here, what you own? You own property? Own a car.
Own a car. That don't count.
Oh, Patrice.
He says something else, but I can't.
And it's
I
true.
have to drop a word.
Anti-cop. I used to be when I was young, but not now. I'm 41. I own shit. I like cops. Cops are here for people that own shit. I don't hate cops like I used to hate cops because that's no one else to call when a nigga. When you own shit, this is a young table. When you own shit, you'll like the cops. Trust me. When I was young, how old are you, bro? 26. Well, you're getting close. What's your credit? Credit good? Credit's good. Did you buy anything yet? You own anything? What do you own? Nigga, that don't count. You know what I miss, slick bastard. But it's all right. There's a lot of white people here. Pick up yourself. I own shit. What do you own? And the thing is, you didn't want a straight lie, so you said a car. And there's white people sitting right here going, oh boy. Congratulations, nigga, you own a car. Yes, you work hard, young man.
You know what I meant.
Something that appreciates.
Right. Well, yes, right.
Yeah,
Yes.
a car depreciates.
That's right. That's why, and I've had this conversation, and I'm sure car people who understand all this stuff will go crazy when I say it, but my father-in-law is a financial advisor. And so I take his advice on just about everything. But I was always like, I don't understand the resistance to leasing.
I don't like it.
And everybody has the same answer. My wife's very anti-lease. I was a big lease guy for a long time because I didn't have the money to do anything else. And they were like, because you don't get any equity in it. I'm like, yeah, but cars depreciate. So you're not getting any equity in. Like, I understand what people mean.
At least trade in your car. Like when you're done with the lease, then it's like, and now you got nothing.
But no, you have a new car again.
Yeah, but you don't have money to put towards it.
Towards what? You just start paying. You still have you just have a car payment. You have a new car and a car payment.
Does that help your credit when you have a lease?
I don't know that it goes either way. I don't know that owning is better for you. I don't know. But my point is just that cars depreciate.
Yeah.
Famously, people are like, the minute you drive it off the lot. That's why people say never buy a new car, you know, that stuff. So I never quite understood that. I understand people are like, you don't own anything. I'm like, yeah, but with a lease, you don't have to own anything. You just get a new car and you keep your car payments going.
I think the reason why people don't like leases is because of the limited miles that you get with
Well,
it.
that was why I couldn't do it after a while because I was
you get
driving
10,000
to-
miles.
Yeah, I was going to Michigan so much I had to buy a car.
And then like
I had awful credit back in the day, so it was like I'm driving a Toyota Camry for $500 a month.
So like you explain to me what happens because I've never leased a car nor have I bought a car like that had a payment. After you go over the certain amount of miles for the lease, they charge you per mile.
Yeah, a certain amount per mile. It's usually like 15 cents per mile. But if you have driven a lot over, you can really get
rack
screwed.
it up, yeah.
Oh no! See, yeah, that would be something that I would be.
But
like,
for somebody who doesn't travel like that, I mean,
but you
if
never know what could happen.
I'm just saying, but like if you drive in town for the most part, right? if you were to go somewhere,
Yeah,
rent a car.
Grandma was leasing for a while, and then she ended up buying her lease, but she liked it because she doesn't drive very much, so
Right.
she was always way under her miles.
Yeah.
15 cents per mile. Like, I wonder what that would
I wonder
mean
if they
you
actually
do it
make
for
you, like, if you go 1 mile over there, like, where's the 15 cents?
I think they
Do
probably
you think
do
they
it.
go, come on, where's that 15 cents?
1 mile over.
Where's that 15 cents?
Yeah.
Wouldn't they make it even? Like, why would you want something like 15 cents? Like, just make it like a full dime or
Well,
a quarter.
usually what ends up happening is they go, well, we're going to take what you owe us and roll it over into a new lease.
Yeah.
So you can do that, but then your payment just ends up being more than, it's a whole thing.
Yeah,
But-
that's what would scare me, is just because I don't like being locked into a mile.
Well,
range.
you can pay for extra miles. Like, I think month to month on some leases, you can go, hey, make my payment this much, and then that'll cover extra mileage. But you got to have a real good idea of how much you drive. And I was driving so much
That a lease was
that a lease was not going to work
not
out.
going to work, no. No matter what you're driving, you want to get to Terry's North Coast Auto.
Son of a bitch. This guy.
Hey, they do good work. They'll hook you guys up.
Jeff Bridges in Against All Odds. Yeah. Waiting. What about Waiting? Yeah, my buddy was in that movie, Waiting, with Ryan
Oh, yeah,
Reynolds.
that was-
I always think that movie's older than it is.
But it's
It's like mid-aughts. It's like 06, 07, I think. I always think it's older than that for some reason.
quite a like the whole premise of Ryan Reynolds' character in that movie, like his whole arc is he wants to bang the girl that is underage.
Right.
And that's his whole thing.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not gonna, but I want to.
Right.
I'm not gonna, but I want to.
Well, but that's saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah.
The fact that the point is he didn't do it.
Right.
Wanted to,
But he really wanted to.
didn't do it. Free Guy was good.
Yeah.
As a recent example of,
Free Guy was good. That one with
Free Guy is good because it was an original idea. It was
Yeah.
like a new original idea,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. That one. That was all right.
With Ryan Reynolds in The Rock?
It was, and Wonder Woman. That one came out
Oh,
last
God.
year.
Red Notice or what?
Notice.
I didn't pay
It was-
attention to that.
It was fine. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just a dumb action movie, but it was entertaining enough.
Let me take
Very
a...
quippy. He's very quippy in
I
it.
do like quips.
Yeah, he
I
quips.
saw The Rock and
Oh,
Kevin
he be
Hart doing that
quipping.
tortilla challenge.
Oh, yeah, slapping each other.
I'm going to break. If you want to text us for anything, 35192 is that number. If you're on hold, I'll get you on the way back. And you can listen anywhere and leave us messages as well on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.